سلام چطورین خسته نباشین اسم من ربکا است من یک واجد اسکول ووشو هستم. Hello, my name is Rebecca. I am a Wushu athlete. I wanted to share the story of how I kind of accidentally fell down the rabbit hole of learning Persian/Farsi for the last couple of months. And I thought I would come outside because it is too beautiful of a day to be sitting inside at my desk. I say accidentally learned Persian because it doesn't exactly align with my life and Wushu goals. Once I tell you the story, it'll kind of make sense, but then there are also some reasons that it doesn't make sense at all. But then there was one reason that kind of trumped everything else and made nothing else matter in my silly brain for the last couple of months. Also, though I'm rapidly trying to educate myself about all things Iran and Persian culture, I am a newbie to the topic. I will try to frame the story based on what I do know, which is modern Wushu and social media, but I may still say something stupid, so you can let me know in the comments, but please be nice. A little about me first. I am a Wushu athlete. I currently work part-time as a software engineer. I'm also very interested in social media, namely YouTube and Instagram. I see them as avenues to share my stories and adventures and connect with other people with similar stories and interests and adventures. I do this because it's fun and I enjoy the engagement, but also because I think that a career making social media content well suits a lifestyle that I want to live. More on that later. Anyway, back in 2019, I spent about 5 months training Wushu in China. It was a dream. I loved every minute of it. I had to come back to the States and start a job and earn some money, but I have been daydreaming of going back ever since. Fast forward to spring-summer of 2020, among other calamities of the time, all Wushu schools were closed. And so I spent a lot of time going outside, training by myself. For anyone who's done Wushu long enough, you'll know that for an individual sport, Wushu is very, very difficult to do by yourself. It's very hard to get that your nervous system activated to really try your best. It's hard to know if you're getting any better or if you're doing anything good. And it's just hard to stay motivated and engaged when the only person showing up there for yourself is yourself. Luckily, I brought something very special with me on my return from China. That thing was Douyin. Douyin is the Chinese side of TikTok, meaning for Chinese audiences, for Chinese content creators. For some reasonable reasons, it's pretty difficult to access outside of China, but it's possible. And so in that time, summer of 2020 and 2021, most of my Wushu social interaction came from this app. What I found kind of blew my mind. On Western social media, we really only see the top competitive Wushu athletes, but there's so much more. Thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions depending on how you count. And by the looks of it, they're having a great time. I collected some of my favorite videos and have compilations of them linked below. Some of my favorite to see and engage with is the very untraditional stuff. We've got umbrellas, we've got memes, we've got all sorts of dance Wushu mixes. This stuff will obviously drive more traditional Wushu people crazy, but I really love it because it shows a lot of people really engaging and enjoying Wushu and sharing it with other people, which is something that I was really missing at the time. Obviously, I wanted to join in, so I started structuring my Wushu practice around making Douyin videos. As I continued to do it more, I found that by the time you've been consistently posting and interacting with people for a couple months, they get a sense for who you are as an athlete. If you keep showing up, keep working hard, and keep showing progress, people notice. And then on the flip side, you can get a sense for, oh, what are athletes in this school like? What are athletes in this area like? What is their training situation like? Who are they? Other things like, what is their sense of humor? What is it like to be a professional Wushu athlete in China? All sorts of things that I had wondered and suddenly had a portal to another universe to get access to. I think there are different ways to have clout as a Wushu athlete. I mean, an obvious one is that you represent your country at an international competition. Maybe you do very well, maybe you win, or maybe you know someone who has done very well or has won. And what I realized over time was that you actually don't need that. I think having a social media presence works just fine. A social media presence that just shows who you are and what your Wushu looks like and your work ethic. And having that recognition, I think, would definitely be an asset if I ever am lucky enough to get the chance to go back to China and train. So yeah, Douyin blew my mind because one, it was a whole internet subculture of Wushu athletes having a great time and interacting with each other, and two, because it provided a network for me to connect with other people and engage with Wushu athletes that I never, absolutely in a million years would have been able to reach. Okay, so that was a long story, but why am I actually learning Farsi? So last November I started becoming active on Instagram with my Wushu, and I slowly gained followers, got more comments, and noticed that a lot of comments were in a language that I did not recognize whatsoever. And then I realized that language was Farsi, and then I realized that I was actually reaching more people in Iran than any other country, and I was like, what? Turns out, Wushu is very popular in Iran, which apparently a lot of people knew. Well, clearly people in Iran clearly know this, and people who are more active than me in the international Wushu community also know this. I did not. Little did I know, outside of China, Iran is arguably the strongest Wushu program. And on top of that, some of the Wushu athletes in the world with the biggest social media followings outside of China are on Instagram from Iran. There was a lot that I hadn't previously recognized, and this was exciting, and it got me wondering, why? I mean, here in the States, I think it's also somewhat a mystery to me why more people don't love Wushu. Like, don't you see how cool it is? I don't know. But then it got me wondering, like, one, how is it so popular in Iran? Two, how did they get so good? And three, maybe most importantly, is there another entirely separate Wushu subculture on the internet that I am missing out on because I don't speak Farsi? So I started to get really excited despite knowing a couple of things, which are that one, I think if I just wanted to have hard answers to the questions, I could have just asked somebody. And two, you know, one of my intentions with growing my Instagram account is actually to eventually be able to monetize it. And because of the sanctions against Iran, I think that it would be very, very difficult, if not impossible, to monetize the Farsi-speaking audience. I'm really inspired by a friend of mine. Her name is Carly. She's in my Chinese class, and she made a career for herself singing Chinese music on Douyin and live streaming. And that is so cool to me because she gets to do the thing that she loves and has found an enormous following for herself. 100万个粉丝. But it's on Douyin. It's on social media and in a language that's far outside of her default. And I think that's super cool. You know, part of my intention with becoming more active on social media is that I want to create a space for myself where I can show up and do things that I'm excited about doing and tell stories about it and package it up and engage with other people in a way that attracts attention, that I can monetize, that I can use to support myself as I continue to do things that I love to do and am excited about doing. And it seems like there's a very, very large audience for what I like to do on Instagram that speaks Farsi, and it kind of maybe leads to a dead end. But what happened was I looked up, what does Farsi sound like? What does it look like? And I heard it, and I saw it, and I thought to myself, I think I love this. And before I knew it, I had enrolled in a class, I had bought a book, I had 2 different tutors online, I was listening in my car as I was practicing, as I was stretching, and then I wake up one day and 2 months have gone by, and I have done nothing in my free time other than study Farsi. And I'm like, what? How did I get here? What am I doing? I mean, I keep finding little tidbits of things that I really love. Like, you can say, قربان شما, قربانت برم. I'm not entirely sure on the conjugations for this, but it essentially means like, I would sacrifice myself for you. And you can say this as like an email sign off. So instead of saying like, sincerely, Rebecca, you could say, I would sacrifice myself for you, Rebecca. It's so dramatic. Little things, I love them, and I run into them every time I learn a little bit more about Farsi, and my brain is very, very happy. A while back, my friend Mark Moran and I were talking about YouTube strategies, and he sent me a bunch of content, and he seems like, Rebecca, you seem like one of those, like, how deep does this go kind of people. And I laughed, and I said, yeah, I guess kind of, because I guess it really depends on the topic, whether or not I find myself asking how deep does this go. Honestly, I am more likely to become conversational in Farsi than I am to ever take my camera off of auto mode, off of auto exposure, auto white balance. Too scary. I will learn an entire language first. Maybe, probably. That's actually not my goal at all. I just want to be able to interact with people on Instagram. It honestly feels like the first time that I read Game of Thrones. Like, I can't wait to get back and find out what else we're gonna learn. Like, what's gonna happen to our favorite characters? What is the next letter of the alphabet that we're gonna learn? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not actually, like, at all good. I mean, I'm proud of myself for the quantity that I've learned in a short period of time, but it's by no means a large quantity. Diruz koja rafti, diruz be supermarket raftam, this type of stuff. But I want to learn more. It also points out to me that I need to reevaluate my time and priority for the next couple of months. I do want to continue engaging with the Persian language and with Persian language speakers on Instagram, but the current method of doing so is not very methodical or strategic or sustainable. we have to do more planning on that. Thank you, by the way, to everyone who filled out the poll where I asked what vlog you'd like to see next. I actually think the training and life goals video got more votes, but I was so tickled that anyone at all wanted to hear my story about Farsi. So I will get to that one in the next video. I have some ideas that I'm excited about, but I need to figure out what is the proper way to allocate my time to pursue those. Ugh, my butt's beginning to hurt from sitting on this rock, but my main questions for you guys are: one, have you ever found a hobby or topic or thing that your brain just all of a sudden obsesses you with, and you have to keep learning and doing it and doing it, and you forget about everything else to the wayside for a little bit? Let me know in the comments what that thing was and how you deal with it, especially when you have other life responsibilities to be dealing with. And then question number 2, I am curious to know what people know about Wushu training in Iran, things you've heard, things you've seen, overall impressions. I want to know. Oh, bird. Overall impressions, I want to know. Thank you so much for watching. I am getting cold and my butt hurts from sitting on this rock, so I'm gonna get up and walk around. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next week for my life planning goals.